The crystal glass slipped from Rachel's fingers and shattered across the polished floor. But nobody in the exclusive Manhattan lounge looked at the broken glass. Every eye was fixed on the exhausted single father standing near the counter with dark circles under his eyes, and a faded jacket that had clearly survived too many winters. Rachel, a self-made billionaire, known for never losing a wager, smiled with quiet confidence as she placed a $100 bill on the table, and calmly declared that no man carrying that much pain could survive 5 minutes in her world without begging to leave. Then ask yourself something. What if you were the one everyone underestimated because of your appearance instead of your heart? If life had taken everything from you except your child, would you still keep showing up every single day? Those questions quietly settled into the room before anyone realized that this ordinary night was about to change 2 broken lives forever. Rachel had built one of the fastest-growing technology companies in America, earning headlines for billion-dollar deals and magazine covers that called her fearless, brilliant, and untouchable. Yet success had surrounded her with expensive silence instead of genuine friendships. Every conversation felt like a business negotiation. Every compliment sounded like an investment, and every smile seemed to carry a hidden price. She had stopped believing people could be sincere. When she noticed the tired stranger sitting alone at the edge of the lounge after finishing a late maintenance shift in the building, she assumed he was another person looking for opportunity. Her wealthy friends laughed and encouraged the harmless bet, convinced he would quickly become uncomfortable among people dressed in luxury and disappear within minutes. The man was named Michael. He wasn't searching for wealthy connections or free drinks. He had simply promised his 8-year-old son, Noah, that after working 2 jobs he would still bring home breakfast before sunrise because Saturdays were their special mornings together. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier after a long illness that had drained every dollar they owned. Medical bills had taken the family home, forcing Michael into a small apartment where every paycheck disappeared before the month ended. Sleep had become a luxury, but quitting had never crossed his mind, because Noah still laughed at bedtime stories, still believed his father could fix anything, and still hugged him as though he were the strongest man alive. Instead of leaving after 5 minutes, Michael quietly accepted a glass of water and remained seated without asking anyone for attention. While expensive conversations floated around him about investments, private jets, and luxury vacations, he listened more than he spoke. Rachel eventually walked over, expecting awkwardness or desperation, but she found neither. Michael answered every question with calm honesty, never mentioning money, unless she asked. When she questioned why he looked so exhausted, he simply admitted he worked nights cleaning office buildings before driving deliveries during the day. He smiled softly and said the hardest part wasn't the work. The hardest part was pretending to have enough energy left to smile for Noah every evening, because children deserved happy memories even when parents were falling apart inside. Those words landed somewhere Rachel had buried years earlier. She remembered growing up with loving parents who had sacrificed everything for her education before losing them both in a tragic accident while she was still building her first company. She had spent decades chasing achievements because success distracted her from grief. Listening to Michael describe fatherhood with quiet pride, instead of self-pity, made her realize that wealth had purchased comfort, but not purpose. Around them, the laughter of her friends slowly faded as they noticed the conversation had become something far deeper than a silly bet. Hours passed unnoticed. Midnight became 1 in the morning, then 2. Michael never once asked Rachel for a favor, a business card, or financial help. Instead, he spoke about Noah's dream of becoming an architect, because he loved drawing houses where every child had a bedroom and every family ate dinner together. He described collecting loose change in a jar so they could visit the zoo twice each year. He admitted there were evenings when he skipped dinner so Noah could have seconds without realizing food was running low. Rachel had negotiated billion-dollar contracts without blinking. Yet hearing one father quietly describe invisible sacrifices nearly broke her heart. Before sunrise, Rachel insisted on driving Michael home because his old truck had refused to start. As they entered the modest apartment complex, she expected sadness, but she found warmth instead. Crayon drawings covered the refrigerator. A tiny table held a birthday cake that had clearly been homemade. Noah rushed into his father's arms with pure excitement, completely unaware that his worn-out shoes or second-hand clothes revealed anything about their financial struggles. The little boy simply celebrated that his dad had kept his promise to come home before breakfast. Rachel stood silently in the doorway, realizing she had just witnessed something money had never been able to buy. She had mansions that echoed with emptiness, while Michael owned almost nothing, except unconditional love. For the first time in years, she cried without trying to hide it. Over the following months, Rachel quietly paid off the anonymous medical debt that still haunted Michael, not as charity but as justice for a man who had already paid enough through suffering. She offered him a management position at one of her companies after discovering his remarkable work ethic and natural leadership. Michael accepted only after making one condition clear. He wanted every promotion to be earned, not gifted. Rachel respected him even more for saying it. Their lives slowly became connected through community projects instead of luxury events. Together they launched scholarships for children who had lost parents, funded shelters for struggling families, and created programs that helped single mothers and fathers find stable employment. Rachel no longer measured success by headlines or stock prices. She measured it by the number of families who could finally sleep peacefully without fearing tomorrow. Years later, during the opening of a new family resource center in Chicago, a reporter jokingly asked Rachel whether she still enjoyed making impossible bets. She smiled gently before looking toward Michael, now confidently leading hundreds of employees while Noah prepared to leave for college with dreams bigger than fear. Rachel quietly admitted that the only bet she had truly lost was the one that mattered most. She had wagered that a tired single father would not last 5 minutes among wealthy strangers. Instead, he stayed all night and unknowingly remained in her heart for the rest of her life, because he reminded her that the richest people are often those whose kindness survives, even after life has taken almost everything else. Before you leave, tell us in the comments, have you ever misjudged someone, only to discover they were stronger and kinder than you ever imagined? Sometimes the greatest miracles arrive wearing worn-out shoes instead of expensive suits, reminding us that compassion can rebuild what pride destroys, and that one act of understanding can change generations. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe so more people can be reminded that second chances often begin with a single moment of kindness.